My demons will devour your soul.
Hey, be a squid and subscribe to my mediocrity. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy XX Quickscoper. Oh god, I shouldn't have thought that was weak. Catch-up update, it's still in my room and half empty, so that's cool. Alright, jokes aside, today we're doing the updated video for the Voicemod Pro situation. I know I promised you guys I would do an update video if we got like 25 or 50 likes. I totally forgot about it, I'm gonna be completely honest. I uploaded that video and I legitimately just forgot all about it. I just never looked back at it. I really thought that the video was just gonna kind of be average and it wasn't gonna do too well, considering that, you know, my channel is fucking dead. So I went back and looked at it and I saw that you guys literally crushed the like button. So here we are doing the updated video for everything. So this should be fun to say the least. So as always, I'm gonna mention this thing that I always mention when it comes to doing voices. You can't just download a program and instantly become, you know, Optimus Prime or whatever voice you're trying to do an impression of. You can't just download a program and it does all the work for you. No, it helps you get a certain sound and then the rest is up to how you voice it, act it, stuff like that. So for example, I've got kind of this Mordekaiser demon sounding voice, and if I just turn it on and it sounds like totally normal, this is essentially what it sounds like.
Hey guys, it's me, fucking Satan. How's your day going? I'm sure this sounds really good.
You see how that kind of just sounds plain and it's not really all that impressive or even cool? It just kind of sounds like you have this deepish voice with echo and reverb on it, so it's not nearly as cool. But if we play it up and have a little spice, it can get a little spicy.
I will destroy your anus and your booty hole will be mine.
I'm gonna be completely fucking honest, I'm not even sure what the hell I just said. But you see the difference in like sound and whatnot. If I kind of play it up, act out a little bit, and just have fun with it, it becomes a bit more interesting and not nearly as boring. And this is kind of the same thing for every voice here, so you kind of want to find something that you want to do with it. You don't necessarily have to be, you know, dumb stupid like me. You could find your own thing and have fun with it, but I'm just saying, play it up, have fun with the voice, don't be boring, and you'll have a bit more better results when it comes to using this program. But with that being said, let's move on over to Voicemod. Okay, now we are in Voicemod and we can kind of take a look at some of these voices. So I'm going to go over EQ first because I think this is something that's pretty good for just adjusting really low quality microphones, or if you have a not so great headset, this can improve bass and just sound performance overall, which is, you know, what I use on a regular basis and what you're hearing right now. Just really quick, let me go ahead and turn the voice changer off so you can hear the difference in quality. So this is what my microphone sounds like without all the bass settings and whatnot, and it just is just me talking normally with the regular microphone settings. Now this is with the EQ settings on and everything. You can kind of hear the bass is a bit more prominent, as well as just overall sound quality seems a bit better, at least by my standards and personal opinion. Anyway, there's not really much to this one. Just, you know, crank master up, adjust the volume however you want, depending on your microphone. You may have to mess around with some of these settings, but for what I have, this all works perfectly fine for me. So I just cranked everything up so the sound quality overall is just a bit more clean and a bit more bassy. All right, now we're gonna go all the way over to the left, which is Mordekaiser, aka the demon voice. So this one is a bit more, how you say, interesting. For this one, this is kind of what I was talking about when I said play yourself up. So whenever I do this voice, I kind of add a bit more gravel to my voice. So instead of just talking like this, I'll, you know, if I say a sentence like, hi, how are you doing? I will be like, hi, how are you doing? You know, talking like that. So it sounds a bit more demonic, and with the voice changer on, it sounds a lot better.
Hello, how are you doing?
You see, sounds a little bit more impressive, I guess, depending on your standards and whatnot, but I've already kind of showed you what it sounds like when you just talk normal, and it's not really all that impressive.
Hello, it's me, Satan. I'm just here, hanging out, cracking a cold one with the boys, you know, good old Satan.
See, it's clearly not as cool. So here are the settings for the Mordekaiser, aka Satan voice. Just crank master up. You want to make sure it's a little bit down on the intelligible area. You want to add some delay for the reasons of you kind of want that echoey reverb. You don't want to go too hard with this. You want to make sure that whenever it's on, it's not repeating immensely. You just want a slight delay after every word you say. And so that's why you want the time to be kind of low, and then you want it to fade out and whatnot. And then you want actual reverb, so it gives off that kind of room cathedral, kind of like, you know, very echoey rooms situation. And then you want to adjust your pitch accordingly. This one depends on your voice, so if you already have a deep voice, then you may not have to go down super low, but if you have a super high pitched voice, you may have to go lower than this. But you're gonna have to mess with it on your own, just due to the fact that I don't know what you sound like, so I can't give you perfect settings. I had to mess around with the pitch probably for about a good 10-20 minutes before I found something that I thought was comfortable. And then for the equalizer, you just kind of want the low frequency. It's kind of the important thing here, obviously, because you're going for bassy, commanding, sort of very heavy voice, so you want the low to be super high. And then everything else I just kind of cranked up a little bit, but not too much. And then I threw on stereo and cranked that bitch up, and I honestly don't even know what this supposedly does. You could delete it, I don't know, just mess around with it and see if you like it. I don't fucking know. Alright, now we can do the split demon. This one's pretty similar to double. To kind of explain what this sounds like, it has a low pitch and a high pitch voice kind of stitched together, and it gives off sort of this schizophrenic type situation where you have two things in your head yelling at you at the same time, sort of thing. And not to downplay that sort of thing, I'm just trying to, it's like the closest thing I could think of to explain how this works. But anyway, I'll go ahead and give an example.
As you can see, it kind of sounds very evil, demonic, sort of possessed, even if you like that sort of thing.
This one always kind of creeps me out, but realistically, I don't think you need to mess with the double too much. This is, if you want that voice, you can kind of just use double. I tweaked these settings just a little bit to my liking and added a bit more bass to it, and that's sort of kind of all I did, but I'll go ahead and show the settings now. All right, here we go. So we got the master open, we've got delay, you want that little slight reverb. Same thing again, reverb again for the cathedral. Then you want the double pitch, so that way you can adjust however you want. If you want the high pitch voice to be a bit more prominent, top this up a little bit more. Don't ever humanize anything. Make sure that the deep voice is at least you can understand or hear it, because I messed around with this a little too much one time, and if you turn the pitch down way too much, it becomes just unintelligible garbage. So do not go too low with that. But as far as everything else goes, this is pretty balanced. And then we got the equalizer, same thing. You want the bass to be prominent, and that's kind of it for that area. High frequency, you can turn that down. I didn't really notice much of a difference. I just kind of left it there. So mess around with this as you please. And then stereo, as always, because once again, I have no clue what it does, but I just threw it on there. All right, this next one's called bootleg claptrap, and it just sucks. This one fucking sucks. I'm gonna be completely honest. It just fucking sucks. I thought I could maybe recreate Claptrap's voice to a degree, and it does kind of sound in the same cadence and tone, but me personally, I can't do a very good Claptrap impression, so it doesn't necessarily work as well.
This is what it sounds like. This is me, Claptrap. Ha ha. This is so good. Ha ha ha.
Anyway, these are the fucking settings. Go ahead and take a look here. I put a lot of work into this one for it to suck, but it is what it is. Maybe you guys can do a better impression than me, but I fucking suck dick. The vocoder is going to be the robotic sounding thing for you guys, so just keep that in mind. Pitch, I obviously had to pitch up because my voice sounds absolutely fucking nothing like Claptrap, so, you know, he's kind of high pitched. Chorus, because it kind of gives off this auto-tuney voice, so it adds a bit more to the robotic sounding side of things. Equalizer, you want the low to be kind of not there at all, just due to the fact that Claptrap doesn't have a lot of bass in his voice, so it is what it is. Honestly, I don't even know why I fucking have equalizer on here. I literally don't even, everything's cranked down. I should just take this off. I don't know. Mess with the equalizer, see if you like it, and that's kind of it. All right, boys, this next one, I'm honestly kind of proud of. I'm kind of proud of this one. Warhammer 40K. If you like the Space Marines, bro, they're kind of badass. I'm just saying.
We will purge the heretics in the holy fire.
God, I love that voice so much. It's fucking sick. Anyway, this one's pretty similar to Mordekaiser. The only difference here is I added a vocoder to give off kind of that like robot headset thing they got going on whenever they're talking to each other. So here's the Warhammer 40K settings. We've got the master cranked up. I honestly don't even remember doing that, to be honest, but We got a little bit of delay. This time it's just barely up. You don't want any fade outs. Don't do any fade out at all. Just crank this down, and you want a little bit of delay. Very minute. You can see like a fucking like a shitty ass pube pixel right there. Just very little delay. Then you want the vocoder effects too. This is, in my personal opinion, the best sounding robotic kind of voice that fit the Warhammer aesthetic. I spent like 2 hours listening to Warhammer dialogue and whatnot through just the soldiers, and this was the closest thing I could find, which in my personal opinion sounds pretty damn good. Then we got the reverb, so that way you get that room kind of vibe situation going on. Honestly, you can kind of remove reverb if you want more of just this grounded robot voice, but I like reverb way too much, so it is what it is. Then we keep the pitch down a little bit. I want it to kind of sound a bit more bassy, commanding, since Warhammer 40k is a pretty goddamn heavy game, so ain't no bitches allowed in the 40k if you feel me. And then equalizer, kind of just copy the same settings from Mordekaiser, just crank the low up and give yourself that bassy voice that you so desire, and that's kind of it. Oh, and stereo. I guess I just throw this on everything. Okay, and that's kind of all I'm gonna go over. The lowly 1 and 2, like these in the girl voice, I've already gone over these in previous videos, so no need to go over them again, but I'll go ahead and show the settings for you guys real quick. This is the girl voice setting. You're gonna have to play around with this yourself, because if you have a deeper voice or a higher pitched voice, you're gonna have to fix the pitch yourself. But for me, I cranked my pitch up to about right here. As far as the mix goes, I threw on a little bit of low pass just because I wanted to give off that shitty mic quality. Doing a girl voice with Voicemod is kind of hard because it really sounds fake as fuck, and it's not the greatest, which is why I mix it with Clownfish. If you want to know more on how to do a girl voice, watch my previous trap tutorial, which goes a bit more in depth on how to fix that issue. But for the most part, girl voice is just this. You don't want any bass and whatnot, and yeah, there you go. That's kind of it. And if you're wondering about the high pitch auto tune, this is nothing. Just ignore this. This is something I'm messing around with and trying to find a setting where I could do something with this, but I haven't quite figured it out, so I don't want to put that out there at the moment, so we'll worry about that later. But yeah, as far as everything else, the Mordekaiser to Warhammer 40k, those are the main voices that I really enjoy using on a regular basis, and they're pretty much my favorite.
So that's it for today's video. If you could please like and subscribe, I would deeply appreciate that. And I'm going to bed.